I want to welcome you to our fifth quarter coaching clinic with Coach Pete Golding, defensive coordinator for the University of Alabama Crimson Tide, who are fresh off of winning their 18th national championship and their 6th national championship in the last 12 years. I'm Coach Gary Kramer. I'm the director of fifth quarter coaching. Fifth quarter coaching was started by a few NFL and college coaches with the vision of equipping coaches and athletes to do life with excellence, both on and off the field of competition. We believe that excellence to which one strives to off the field reflects on the field and the performance that takes place there. We believe that not only do 4 quarters matter or 2 halves matter, but the 5th quarter matters. Our connection with Europe began about 3 years ago when we came over as coaches and coached not only clinics and spoke at clinics, but then we went out into the fields and actually practiced with some teams and showed some of the things we were saying in the clinics with how we coached the players, and this has kind of grown out of that. So as we come to you today, we're grateful for the opportunity you've given us, the trust that you've given us to pour into you. And as we share, we come today simply not as ones that know it all, but as learners ourselves. We are peers with you in learning this great game and even advancing and helping ourselves become better at it. So today we're thankful and grateful for you. And we're especially grateful for the platform you use in growing young men and women who are a part of your teams and who have placed themselves under your influence. So as we come to you today, our only agenda is to invest in you, to blow wind into your sail, and to encourage you in what you're doing. We're able to bring you these coaching clinics free. How about that? Excellent coaching clinics free because we have people who not only believe in us, but people who believe in what you're doing as well. And so today's fifth quarter coaching clinic is brought to you free of charge because our partners at Truist Sports and Entertainment Specialty Group have made it possible. Truist believes that exceptional success deserves extraordinary support. You are going to have a blast today. This is great stuff. He comes at you like he's coaching his guys in the room. And today on the call, get this, we've got 15 different countries represented that are playing this game, 100 and some teams that are on this call today. And there's coaches at all levels. Some have actually coached with NFL teams. Some have coached with collegiate teams here in the States. Others of you are just starting out and getting started. This clinic is for all of you. Now, if you're just starting out, you're going to think that you're drinking, as we say in the States, water from a fire hydrant. It's going to come at you fast, but all I know is just like learning a foreign language, just like I'm right now working on learning Deutsch, right? The more I do it, the better I get. The more you do it, the better you'll get. And so it's going to come at you fast. Don't get discouraged and don't think you don't know anything. Those of you who are just starting out, we want to grow you, and we're going to continue to grow you and sharpen you in what you're doing and the investment you're making in the players that you coach. So, well, Pete Golding is coming at us straight from his team room today. You're going to see he's in the team room. He was an all-conference selection at Delta State in Mississippi. He spent 13 years in the collegiate ranks. He has a wife and 3 children, and he's one of the great young minds in the game today. And I think probably did his best job last year coaching 2 starting freshman linebackers in the Southeastern Conference. And that's a job in and of itself. So he's going to talk a little bit about that even as we go ahead. Before we do that, a couple comments by my comrade over there in Stuttgart, Mario Campos Neves. Mario, I'd like you just to make a couple comments and then we'll get rolling with the video.
Nee, nur an alle nochmal, okay, wir haben ja auch, we also have some international guys, okay, but really quick in German, an alle, vielen Dank, dass ihr teilnehmt. Seid gefasst, das wird ein echter Reality-Check, ja, für euch. Im Sinne von erstens, Pete ist aus dem Süden, das wird man merken, okay, und er ist 100% Football-Coach, okay, der wird losfeuern ohne Ende. Und das ist das, was ich will, dass ihr lernt von 5Q-Coaching, wie die das leben, wie intens die sind, ja, wie die das einfach den Spielern vermitteln. Das ist alles, okay? Gary, we're good.
All right, here we go, fellas. And ladies?
I always in a clinic don't really want to talk about scheme. Obviously, you can talk about techniques of certain positions, but I always felt like it was best for me going to a clinic was, how can I make my package better without changing any terminology or even adding new things to it. So today what we're going to talk about is stemming and disguising your fronts and your coverages. So not adding anything new from a coverage aspect or a pressure aspect, but more importantly, pre-snap, be able to dictate protections, be able to dictate certain pass patterns based on a one high or a two high disguise, and really trying to take the game out of the offensive coordinator's hands on the sideline and make the quarterback decide the coverage you're in, the pressure you're coming from, or even the offensive line, the front that you're in, obviously based when he catches the ball. I think that's our big thing. So we'll get into the film. Obviously take some notes. Obviously Coach Kramer will be running this. We appreciate him with Fifth Quarter Coaching, an awesome group. So obviously we'll get over there soon, get to be with you guys, but we'll roll through the film. Obviously write down any questions you got, and then on Wednesday we'll do the Q&A on the roll. All right, so kind of what we talk about, is how can we make the same things look different and different things look the same? And I think that's the big piece to whatever level you're at. How can you be simple, from a call standpoint and your coverages and your pressures to where the minimal time you have with your kids, from a meeting standpoint, obviously y'all probably have a lot less than we do, and we have a lot less than the NFL guys do. So how can we get you complex, by picture, but simple by call? And so I think one thing that I've tried to do throughout my career is, how do you maximize your package while minimizing your teaching? And obviously I think, obviously it comes across as being hard to do, but I really think it's pretty simple. So like we said earlier, and I think the key to this, especially at our level, there's so much check with me, they'll double call offensive plays, whether it be in the run and the pass, and based on the look you're giving them or the front you're in, they've got the perfect play for it. So I think the biggest thing is, hey, how can we put the game back in that 18 and 19-year-old kid's hands playing quarterback and not let the coach be dictated on the sideline, hey, they're in a too-high coverage, we're going to run this pass pattern, we're going to go speed out to the boundary, we're going to high-low the corner, right? Or, hey, they're in a five-man box, we're going to check, zone fold from a number standpoint. So I think the big thing is offenses love the motion, trade, shift, do all those things to make us communicate defensively, and so they can have the chalk glass. But I think defensively, we don't do that enough. We don't show certain things, run them, show certain things, play a different coverage, show a pressure, run the pressure, show the pressure, come from the opposite direction, show the pressure, right, too high. So I think, today that's kind of what I'm going to talk about, is trying to maximize that package with minimizing your teaching. All right, so the first thing, anytime you're stemming and disguising or even pressuring, we talk about on Monday with our guys is what's the indicator, all right, meaning when do I move, right? I'm showing a too high disguise, right? How long do I hold it, coach? When do I come down, right, to play my one high coverage? Or you've got a linebacker, right, and you got a pressure call. Well, you always say, hey, you'd rather be early than late, but when do I go, right? So again, every week, right, on Monday when we do our scouting report, and obviously it might be different for you guys, right, you'll find it on film and teach them, but the quarterback has the mannerisms, right? So again, we always try to work on what's his cadence, right? And so for us, it's the indicator of the week. So obviously we played Ohio State in the national championship game, so this is the last one we had, but as you're watching the quarterback's mannerism here, right, he's erect right now, right? Obviously 2-point stance, right, straight-legged, right? Then he'll go stagger, right? That was his next progression. He'll stagger to stance, right? Now he'll get the Z in the knee, right? So again, ankles, knees, and hips are bent. Right, boom, now the hands are up. So for us, right, those praying hands, right, started the cadence, right? But for Justin Fields, he would always drop his elbows, right? So he'd have praying hands, right? Then he worked to drop those elbows, and then the clap came, right? So I think it's big when you're disguising, right? Fronts are coverages, is what's the move indicator, right? So again, that'll change, right, based on who you play, right? Some weeks that's going to be the quarterback. Right, some weeks that'll be the head of the center. The center's head's between his legs. He gets a movement key by the quarterback. Head pops up. Right, it could be the foot of the quarterback. But I think it's critical, right, for obviously the opponent that you're playing when you get into disguises is, hey, you want to hold your disguise as long as possible. because they'll give you fake indicators to try to get you to show your hand, right? So then obviously they got the chalk last, and then they get up in the perfect play. So we'll go same thing with the motion, right? So pre-motion, right? He never gave the indicator, right? So we're holding our disguise. This isn't us, but obviously a coaching point, right? We'd hold our disguise. Same thing. Now he's going to go Z in the knee, hands up, praying hands, boom, drop the elbows, there's the clap, right? So you show these guys in the gun, right? And then, all right, now he's under center, all right? So then now, hey, what's the movement key, right, when he's under center? So a lot of guys, right, right, they're not going to stick their hands under until they have to, right? Big indicator for us, right? And then obviously a lot of teams for us that we play, when they're on the center, there's a lot of movement, a lot of motion, right? So then now same thing, he gives them the foot, right, is the motion indicator. The hands still aren't under the center, so we'd be holding our disguise. Right now, watch. All right, he's going to let him get there. Both hands under. That wasn't the trigger for us on the center, right? It was the head of the quarterback. So same thing. They would motion and they would bring him back. So watch him looking at the receiver. He times him up, gives him the foot. Watch his head. Boom. All right. As soon as the head goes square, that was the movement indicator for us in the national championship game. So all I'm doing, obviously, it's going to be different for you guys based on who you play week to week, right? But you're going to have to give him, hey, here he is in the gun, right? Here's the mannerism. All right. If they go under center, here it is under center, right? So same thing in the game, right? It ain't a huge thing, right? But again, you're always working on the timing, right? So my boy over here buckling up his chin strap like an idiot, all right? But again, there it is, praying hands, right? So we're waiting for the elbow drop, right? Boom, there it goes, right? So we're already, right now, we're timing up the pressure, right? Same thing in the back end, right? We're showing it across the skies, praying hands, elbows drop, we're already working to move to the drop. So it's a little thing, right, that you see on tape, but how many times when you break down and you self-scout are you just one step short, right, of getting the sack or making the PBU or making the pick, right, getting to the drop for the reroute. So I think that's a critical piece, right, and you got to train those guys and you got to show those guys. And so the big thing for us throughout the week is our scout team quarterback has to have the exact same mannerism. So we actually have the film for those guys, but you can just tell them, hey, this is what it is. This is what you want you to do. So then that way your secondary, your linebackers, and obviously your outside backers are going off of what they're going to see on Saturday. So before we even get into all the disguises, this is the big piece. Because if not, if you show it early, there was no point in even disguising. I think that's a big piece. So obviously this was Ole Miss, right? So our movement indicator for the secondary was the foot of the quarterback, right? The pressure indicator for the backer was the head of the center. So you'll get this a lot, guys, obviously, when they raise their foot. Obviously, the center, right, this is a non-verbal snap cadence, right? So he's got to be able to see it, right? So, boom, now he'll pop the head up. So you already see safety rotation coming down, right? Because, again, the back end would rather be early than late, right? Blitz indicator for the inside piece was going to be the head of the center. So now we're timing it up. We're rolling into the stance and be able to time the pressure, right, to be able to make it most effective. So those will change based on who you play. So, obviously, Ohio State was completely different than Ole Miss. All right, now, talking about from a disguise standpoint, right? So we're saying, hey, pre-indicator, right? That's what we talk about. We don't talk about pre-snap. We talk about pre-indicator, right? So pre-indicator, right? These are our one-high looks. So when we say a one-high look, we're meaning a single safety shell, right? So again, a post defender, right? Whether we're playing man or whether we're playing zone, all right? So this is a one-high shell, obviously playing one-high, right? So again, it doesn't do you any good to disguise one-high coverages, right, if you don't play one-high, right? So again, we'll hard call, right, just one-high principles, right? Whether it's zone or man, doesn't matter. We're not going to get into that, right? But this is just a low-hole, high-hole principle. But again, right now, right, we've told the quarterback, right, we're playing what? We're playing one-high, right? We got single safety defense, right? It's a low-hole, high-hole principle. We're 3-on-2, right? But we're showing them, right? So again, we'll show one-high and we'll play one-high, right? So obviously you have to be able to do that, or the disguises that we're about to get into aren't going to matter, right? So again, same thing, right? 2x2 set, right? Safety's already rolled down, both backers in the box. We're telling them right now, hey, it's a 6-man box, right? We're playing one-high defense, right? But you have to be able to show one-high and play one-high, or there's no reason to have a one-high disguise, right? So all we're getting to, obviously, we'll call one-high, we'll play one-high, right? 2x2 look. If If it's a 3-by-1 look, right, we'll have safety rotation down to 3. But he knows right now, right, this is middle of the field coverage, one high principle, right, zone man, right, based on the corners. All right, so we'll play one high defense, right, and we'll call it without a disguise. All right, now, obviously we're going to show them that exact same picture right now. Hey, they were one high, they played one high. Now we're going to show them one high, and now we're going to play a version of a two high safety, right, meaning we got two guys on the roof, whether it be a zone or a pattern match principle, right, and obviously we'll get to some of those. So, our one high disguise, right, we tag sugar, right, so again, we put this into all the same alignment and adjustments you would with our man coverage. So our kids know right now, hey, when we tag sugar to a too high call, right, we are showing one invert pre-indicator. Once I get the indicator of the week, right, then we'll execute the too high coverage that is called, right? So for us, just from a diagram standpoint, right, 2x2 set, right, we go sugar, right, flex line eye clipper, which is a too high principle for us. So again, the star is going to show outside leverage man technique, play into a low hole rat, free safety, right, rotation to the Y, it's a one Y principle, obviously with the safety in the middle of the field. And then now on the indicator, right, being the quarterback or the center that week, whatever it is, verbal or nonverbal, right, then now we will work to squirm out of it, and now we will execute the too high principle that is called, right? Same thing, 3-by-1, right, so we're going to say rotation to the 3 receiver side. We make a trade call a man-to-man to where the star comes in, the safety takes 2. So we'll show that exact look, because whatever the formation is, however we would line up in one invert, or whatever your one high man coverage is, you want that to look exactly the same. So then you're not going through and working all the disguises with these guys, because they know, hey, coach, you tag sugar, hey, what are you showing? One invert. All right, now, what coverage are you playing? The integrity of the coverage call, right? So then you don't have to go through and work all these disguises with guys in different spots, right? They're in the normal spots they would be when you call that one high defense. So then when they're self-scouting you guys, right, breaking you down, then they can't tell the difference. Hey, they showed the same picture, played one high, they showed the same picture, now they play two high, right? So same thing, right, movement will be on the movement indicator, right, and we're good. All right, so here's the picture, right? So again, we just showed them this look before, right? Gave them a one high principle, right, played one high, right? So same thing. When they're calling us in from the sideline, right, they'll give them a one high side, they'll give them a two high side, right, based on certain pass patterns, as you guys know, right? Or they'll go check with me, right, to where now, hey, they're in one high, well, let's put the man beater on, right? So again, they do a good job, right, showing the one high presentation, star outside leverage like you would be, both corners in a press alignment, right, safety rotation, right, weak to the Y, outside leverage, looks just like our one invert principle, right? Now, look, movement indicator, right, for Clemson was the point, right, head goes back, so now the star slides from outside to inside leverage, we're playing a cut principle to the field, right, boundary safety works to square them back, so now we went from a one high to a two high presentation, out-breaking route, right, versus the man coverage, and now we're playing trap with the corner, and now they're throwing it right into the corner, right, so again, all that, right, wasn't nothing for our kids, right, it was one call, we just tagged sugar to it, right, so then, hey, we go sugar, which are two high principles, very easy, right, self-adjusting versus all formations and motions, you'll make them look the same, on the indicator, right, then now you get to come out, change the picture, right, and it completely screws up, right, this quarterback, right, because now his pre-snap read and his post-snap read changed, right, so he was already predetermined, like a lot of us do, right, hey, it's one high, this is where I'm going with the ball, and then now, boom, ball snapped, it turns over, oh shit, right, here it goes, now I'm throwing in the trap, right, so again, nothing scheme-wise, I'm not getting into the trap principles and all that, we can do that another time, this is strictly talking about disguising, right, so same thing, this would be sugar flex 2 bump for us, right, so again, 3-by-1 look, right, showing field rotation, right, with a press corner, showing one high defense, right, boom, get the indicator right, boom, there's the clap for him, right, boom, now we're working to squirm out of it, so then now we do got a trap corner to the boundary right from run support, they're reading this one high 5-man box, we stunt the front, right, protecting the corner and be able to stop the run, right, but again, this goes a long way, right, where it screws up these guys, from a box count read in the run game, to to the pass patterns, obviously, and the route combinations off of it. All right, so for us, sugar, right, we're showing one invert. That is our man principle, right? Show for us, if we tag show to the call, we're showing cover 6 for us, which is a 4 under 3 deep principle to where we always have weak rotation. So regardless whether it's 2 by 2, right, the safety would show down weak. If it was 3 by 1, the safety would still show down weak, with our field side safety being our strong safety, obviously always the post piece. 2 by 2, the backers would be the A and the B, 1040. On 3 by 1, they would boss. On indicator, boom, everybody slides right back, right, to the 2 high, obviously alignment and assignment they have, right, and then based on the indicator, right, will be the timing of the move. So we have sugar, right, which we just went over, that we're showing man pre-snap, playing a 2 high concept. Then we have show, because we play a lot of cover 6, where it's weak rotation regardless of the pitcher. Whether there's a 2 weak or not, we're going to come down weak, right, and truly play 4 under, 3 deep, right, obviously in a normal set. So we want to be able to show 4 under 3 deep, zone, and then be able to play a version of a 2 high principle, right. So here it is, right, same principle. So this is show. So it happens to be a 2 by 2, so we're showing down weak. This will show just like cover 6 to us, right? Indicator is, right, boom, works to roll out. So now we were showing 4 under 3 deep, right, from a zone integrity standpoint, to where now we're playing 5 under 2 deep, right? So we changed the shell coverage, right, for the quarterback. Obviously looked like a pattern match principle to true zone. So now you get him patting the ball, because again, you made him what? You made him think, right? You didn't show your hand. Right? I think a lot of times these quarterbacks are coached good enough now where they're predetermining the side of the field they're working or the one-on-one matchup they like based on the shell that you give them. Right? So I think, in my opinion, unless you just feel like you've got better guys across the board, why in the world when you're playing poker would you ever show somebody your hand? And I think we do that too often in football defensively, and then we're reacting to offenses instead of the offense reacting to the defense. All right, so I think that's a big piece to what we try to do, is be able to change that picture, right, and constantly try to confuse the quarterback and make the same things look different and different things look the same. So then this is the same thing. It's a weak rotation look. We'll play 6 buzz where we drop him into the box, right? He's your curl flat piece. He's your weak hook piece, right? There's the post. Now indicator, same thing. There's the hands. We're to squirm out. So then now, again, it went from a 1 high principle safety in the box to a 2 high principle, and we're stunting the front, and then now we got the run game killed. All right, so again, same principles, right, just where we're moving them based on the coverage that we're in. All right. Now, right, the next thing that we'll do, right, so again, we had 1 high man pre-snap, right, pre-indicator look, 1 high zone pre-indicator look, right, playing 2 high principles behind it. The next thing that we'll get into is we'll show pressure, right, showing 1 high rotation, and then play coverage behind it being a 2 high principle. So the big thing for us that we talk about, when you're disguising a pressure, right, we teach our guys, you're on a string. This is what it's meaning, right? It's going to start out of a 2 high look, right? So for us, silver, right, is a strong side pressure disguise. So for us, it's always the first available guy to the field, right, is going to be working to show the pressure. So the string for us is, right, we're all on a string, but it starts with our nickel, which we call our star. So now when the star goes to show pressure, the strong safety is going to come down when the star moves. When the star moves, the free safety is reading the star. Now the free safety is going to come over. So then that string, as the star goes, is going to pull him down. It's going to pull him over, right? Because the bottom line, you can show all you want. If there ain't somebody there to take his place, it doesn't do you any good. All right? The OC's smarter than that. The quarterback's smarter than that. So we always want to show the rotation, right, that we're working to replace the blitzer to be able to truly sell, right, that, hey, we're running at 1 high, right, and we're coming with pressure, right? So if it's a 2 by 2 look, right, it would be our apex defender to the field, which would be the star. If it's a 3 by 1 for us, it would be our money. But again, the apex defender to the field for us and silver will now show the pressure pre-indicator, right, and now we'll work to string with the both roost safeties, right, but it's all started based on the guy showing the pressure. and they all work, right, simultaneously together because they're on a string. I think that's a big piece, right? So then now we'll get out, right? We'll go silver, right? We'll come back, we'll run quarters, right? We'll show silver, come back, run 2 trap, right? So again, you're given the simulation of pressure, right, and be able to play coverage. All right, so here it is. There's the star, right? So star creeps, he creeps, he's down, he's over. That is the string that we're talking about. All right, so now for the quarterback, right, we run a lot of field pressure. Right, so here he is, right, star go, right, boom, there's the replacer, 1 high defense, right, now ball snapped, all right, now he's out, and now we're playing 5 cut, and then now we're defending this inside out, working to trap the corner, defending this inside out, right, and again, you got to finish on the ball, but it's the same thing. Why did they check double slant? Because you did what? You made them. You dictated it. You showed field side pressure, watched it on tape, what do they check? Panther, double slant. Well, then now I'm going to call the coverage behind it to where we're defending it inside out and trapping it. Right? So again, you dictate what the offense does. Don't let the offense dictate what you do. And I think that's what stemming and disguise and create. Right? Get them in certain plays you want them to, and then marry it with whatever coverage principle you want to take that pattern away. But I do think you got to understand on tape, right? Once you show field side pressure, all right, well, what's been their answer? Do they check run opposite? Right? Are they checking man beaters where they're working double slant? Right? But again, you'll get into that obviously when you're breaking teams down. But this is such a simple concept to where now this is your normal 2 high coverage, whatever you play, and all you did was tag silver to it. And now look at the difference. Quarterback, audibling, change the route concept, and then now they're throwing it to your coverage. But again, you made this dude do what? Think. He thought it was one thing, but guess what? It wasn't. It was something different. And so I think we don't do that enough defensively, and it's so easy. Because once you tie it into something that you do, hey, silver is field strike. So when I tag silver, whoever's going at field strike should make it look exactly the same. And then now they have something already in your defense that they do that it disguises. So then they see it enough on tape to where you run that pressure, and now this looks exactly the same, and then now you're coming back out and you're playing coverage. And so that don't matter if you're 3-4, 4-3, 3-3, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if you call them a Sam or a star, who cares, right? But again, it's about dictating protections, right? And obviously making the quarterback think on the run. So same thing for here us, right? So again, we got our nickel, we're to cheat it, right? So we learned a lot of mince strong 3 where we're 4 on a 3 deep, right? With field rotation. So again, there's the string, exactly what we want, pull, 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 right? Boom, now we get the indicator, right? Hands up. And now we're right back out of it, right? Boom. And now we're playing quarters, right? 2 apex defenders, 2 stack forces, right? A to C players by the backers. They're thinking they're running into 1 high defense with the jack dropping, right? And they're running into an 8-man box, all right? So same look, right? There it is, star, rotation. There's the pull. That's the string that we talked about with the start of the star, right? Then we're to motion, right? Back out of it. They check, right? Same thing. We were showing pressure. They check screen, right? We play max zone, right? So again, same thing, right? Just dictating. Offenses package a lot of plays, right? All it is messing with the look, just like they motion, they shift, they bump the back, right? Moving from one side to the other. All to do what? To make us communicate, right? And make us react, right? In order for us to make a mistake. All disguising is doing is making them do the same thing. Right? Making them to react to something that they didn't realize what was going to occur post-snap. Right? So I think that's obviously something to me, right, that we don't do enough. All right? Now, for us, we see a lot of RPOs, right, which we call a run-pass option. And when people are running RPOs, they got a movement key. Right? So again, the star, the apex piece of the field in most RPO teams is the movement key. Right? So if he's showing in the pressure, right, then it's already predetermined for the quarterback. It's not a handoff, it's going to be a pull throw, right? So again, they're reading leverage, they're reading rotation. So you'll see our 3 guys, right? There's 5, right? Boom, he's coming, right down, he slid over, right? So again, right now, 2 already sees him, right? Boom, he knows right now she's backside press, right? So again, this should be a handoff, right? So again, our C-gap defender's dropping, but we already tell him, hey, what did I give him? I gave him a pull throw read. Right? So then again, he's right back to the window. He's pulled for the RPO. You got linemen downfield now, right? You're in the window, right? You've eliminated it. but you dictated it, right? You know, hey, we teach those guys, hey, you're the movement key, right? So when we call Silver in this, right, and it's the RPO, what's he going to do? He's going to pull throw. Why? You're his read, right? So again, selling that on the string and be able to dictate certain things based on what you're playing, I think is a critical piece, right? So same thing here, go to 3x1. Star, where's the apex, right? Looks like our strong 3, right? So again, he's the apex defender, right? He's showing the pressure look from an apex look, right? Indicator they move back out. We're not playing 1 high. They're trying to work the boot off of it, right? We're playing the 2 high principle. Star's got first to the flat, right? We've got leverage on the out break and throw, right? And we're able to make the play, right? So again, nothing by call, right? But again, everything from a disguise standpoint that's so simple that does not take a lot of teaching for you to do. You just marry it with, hey, Silver for us is this, right? It's this field pressure that we have in our package. The rules are the same, right, as far as who's going to show and who works to replace. And on the string, what 3 guys are, right? Star, safety, safety. Hey, money, safety, safety. Whatever it is in your package, right, to where you can dictate it. So same thing here, right? You get a point. This is what we want, right? So again, right now, right, what's he already doing? He's communicating to the back and the quarterback, hey, star fire, right? There he is. So he's coming down, watch him. Comes down, down, over, right? So everybody in the building right now, right, saying, hey, we're playing what? We're playing 1 high, right? We're bringing the nickel off the head of the slot, right, to the field, right? So there, where's the show? Boom, clap. Now we're out, right? Now we're playing what? Now we're playing umbrella coverage, right? And we're playing cover 2. And then now at this point, holy shit. Right, I had my 1 high pressure read, right, knew where I was going, right, know where to go, right, try to check the ball down, right, max zone, front hands off, right, driving on the ball. But that's all it is, right, but you've tied this into that exact same look where he's coming and running it. And then now you dictate, hey, weak side isolation, no, we're going to protect it, play cover 2. Hey, man-to-man pick concept, right, running under dig, trying to get the pick on the star on that, right, boom, you got it coming to your zone. Right, so again, nothing by scheme, right? You package it, hey, with Silver, this is what we want to do, right? We're going to come back with a trap principle to the field. We're going to come back with cover 2, right? Hey, we're going to come back with a boundary pressure, right? All right, so again, you package it within your package, right? All right, so Silver for us, right, was to the field, right? So it's our field side pressure disguise, right? Everybody on our team knows that. They know exactly what they're showing, right? Boom, as soon as I get my indicator right, we're right back to the coverage that we call, right? And I think the big piece to these disguises, like we talked about, and that's why we started with the indicator, is those guys have to be able to understand, right, when do I move and get back, right? Or when do I move and come down, based on is it a 2 high or 1 high. So now when we tag white, right, it's just a weak side pressure disguise for us, right? So for us, we tell them in white, we show what we call our boomer, our boundary pressure, all right? So again, as long as there's only 1 open to the weak side, we always show with the corner. We send a lot of corner cats, all right? We're a lot of corner blitzes, right? Work to replace it with the safety, right? So again, as long as this 1 remove, right, the corner will always show. If it was to be 2 open, right, then now our backer would walk out and the backer would show, right? So again, same concept, first remove guy, right, is always going to show the pressure. Same thing with the string, right? Nothing changes, all right? Now, I love this, right? We do this a bunch to where you'll see if y'all run corner pressures, right? A lot of people that run corner pressures, right, their answer is just to run the what? Run the hitch, run the smoke, run the now screen, right? So to me, this was one of the better players when we were playing Ole Miss, all right? So every time the corner came, regardless of the concept that they had, they turned this into a hitch. So going into it was like, hey, let's show our boomer, right, our boundary pressure, right? So now he'll creep, watch the safety, right? So when we run boomer, he has him man-to-man, right? So we're going to show it, boom, and then now we're going to come right back out. And now we're truly going to trap him. Now we're going to play high-low. But look what it's already done to it. The route's already been converted, right? Because they loved off this action, they would run the backside glance, which is a really tough principle for us, especially in 2 high. So we eliminated the glance just by bluffing the corner, right? And we did that very easy by white. Well, then it's the same thing. So then now we're going 3 over 2 to the field. So now they check run away from the pressure, right, with the now. And then now we got +1 at the point because they can't block it. So then we'll work to spill it to your free hitter, right? And then now again, It's a 1 yard gain, right? And you've taken, right, DK, one of the best players in the country, right, out of it, right? Because they made a money on this glance route. But you can dictate the route that they run, right, just by showing something, right? So again, white for us, right, is showing boomer to the boundary, right? So we'll do the same thing, right, especially on third down stuff. We send a lot of corner, right, whether we're playing 4 and a 3 deep, traps, doesn't matter, right? But again, the piece to it is press corner cheated, right, and safety off the hash, right? Because again, if you're not doing this with the safety, right, then he knows he's bluffing because he doesn't have a replacer. So that's what we talked about from a string standpoint, right? So watch these 3. Here's your string now, right? So watch 4. So 4 starts, right? 4 starts, there it goes, pull, pull, right? So then now for him, he's seeing this rotation, right? You got to make him believe that he is coming, right? Because if you don't do it with the string, right, and you ain't got anybody to replace him, they know the corner's not coming. It ain't going to matter, right? So same thing, showing the 1 high corner pressure, right? And then now we're getting into a true 2-man principle, right? To where now we're taking everything from inside out, low hip control, right? With safety help over the top. So now they're back there patting the ball, right? And now there's the sack fumble, okay? So, again, big thing, right? Very easy, right? The call was the call. We're playing 2 buster, doesn't matter. All we did was, hey, white, 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 right? So, again, we're showing the weak side boundary pressure. Always the corner unless it's too open, right? And then for us, it would be the backer showing, obviously, the pressure. All right, now, so we had already silver, right, for us coming from the field, white coming from the boundary, and then maroon for us, right, is what we're to come up the middle, right? It's money pressure for us. So that being, we send our money backer a lot in our MAC, so then they're showing money coverage on that, right, and then we're playing the coverage out, right? So here's our money, right, here's our MAC, right? So again, you'll see the money and the MAC, right? We run a lot of internal belly, right, where both these are coming in the A. When we do that, right, he would have the Y, right, he would be the post player. Right, show it, boom, and now we're right back out, right? Same concept, right? Playing a 2 high principle with 2 on the roof, 5 underneath, right? And all I did was change that picture. He was expecting double A gap pressure, playing man. Now we're playing zone, right? There's nowhere quick rhythm to go with the ball. Escapes the pocket, works to throw it away, right? So again, that ain't nothing, right? Again, it ended up being a 4-man rush playing your 2 high principle, right? But all we did was tag maroon to it. Right, so we're now give him that look, right? So now he's in that head. Here we go. Here it is, 1 high. Oh shit. Right, now you got nowhere to go to ball. You got your 4 one-on-ones, right? You win, right? Again, it's an easy third down, right? Getting off the field. All right. Now, with all that being said, right? So we went through the silver, we went through the white, we went through the maroon. Well, you can't just show that and then always drop out and play coverage, right? So again, because they're going to see on tape, hey, every time that guy bluffs, he never what? He never comes, right? So we have neon in our package, which neon means, hey, I want to be seen, right? So if we're coming with a field pressure, neon should look just like silver, but guess what? We're not dropping, we're rushing, right? So you got to make them honor it, right? So I always feel like from a coordinator standpoint, right, calling it, I'm always going to call neon early in the game. So that way we're showing the pressure and we run the pressure. Well then, for the rest of the game, I'm calling disguises. But they don't know that. Because what? You just showed the pressure and you ran the pressure. So now the next time we come with silver, right, shoot, they're sliding the silver, right? Well, now we're coming from the other side, right? Well, now both times have been pressure. So the next time, hey, you go white, right, boom, then now I'm coming out and I'm playing 2 trap. So you're playing the game. You're dictating it, right? So again, to me, this is chess, not checkers. Right? But again, I think you got to have it within your scheme that's very easy. Ours are colors, right? And they know, hey, neon, what? Bam, it's bright, be seen, right? So we're coming from the field, neon should look like silver, but guess what? You ain't coming out of it, you're blitzing, right? We're coming from the boundary. Hey, neon should look like white, right? Boom, you showed you were coming, but guess what? You're coming, right? So now it makes them honor it. So all we'd be doing, right, whatever side we were coming from, we would show and we'd actually come. Right? So again, same thing. We're showing the pressure. We're down, right? We did the same thing. What have we been running? Silver, silver, silver. Coverage, coverage, coverage. Boom. Now we do. Go. There it is. Slide the protection away. Right? Because everything's been opposite, right? Or out in coverage, so they don't honor it. right? So again, you got to go neon, and you got to make them honor it, right? But once you do that early in the game, right, then now you can come back and you're going your silver, you're going your white, you're going your maroon, right? You'll go orange and be able to come opposite on that thing. But that's the picture you want, right? But you set this up, right? You done silver so much, right? You've gone sugar and done all these things and played too high. And now you show it and you do it, and now it's oh shit, right? Guy unblocked in the hole, right? Now we're playing 5 slice, playing cut, right? With a low hole piece, right? Nowhere to go with the ball, right? And my boy Justin Fields gets sacked. All right? Same principle. So now, what we do earlier, right? We were talking about the white, right? The boundary of the sky. So, hey, press corner, nasty split, watch the safety. It's key to the drill, right? So, again, remember, hey, safety +2 off the hash to the boundary, press corner. They know right now, right? Hey, alert cat, right? No, what do? We've been hitting with white. Showing that, coming out playing coverage. They ain't worried about that dude. Right? So then now, boom, you come right back, right? Go neon boomer, right? So then now they free release. Why? Because he's been coming out of it, just like we showed you in the previous picture, right? And then now he's unblocked, right? Boom, get you a sack, right? Everybody's covered up, playing quarters to the field, right? Blitz coverage to the boundary, right? But you've dictated that, right? By what you put on tape. They show, hey, boundary corner press, safety wide. Hey, every time they show that, he never comes because they don't ever show it. Well, then you hit them with neon, and now they can't say that. That's the biggest thing to me as a coach is I never want the opposing coach to be able to say 100%, right? Y'all know y'all break down things, right? And, hey, in this back set, right, with this tight end location, hey, it's 100% this, right? Hey, they're 4 open. Hey, the back's to the boundary, it's 100% this. Well, then what do? You get the perfect defense for it, right? And then obviously you check it versus that formation, right? So you never want to be able to tell those guys, hey, 100%. Right? So there's always got to be doubt to me, A, in the OC's head, but B, more importantly, in the quarterback's head. Right? The indecision of that, right? And then the offensive line. Right? So again, all these are, right, is boom, same thing. Right? So again, it's been looking like silver, silver, silver. We're going to do it, boom, we're going to come. Right? You got to do this. Right? So again, we don't major in this by any means. A lot of times we're going to show coverage, then come with the pressure on the indicator. Right? Or we're going to show pressure one side, come the opposite, which we'll talk about. But you got to have neon in if you're going to work silver, white, maroon, because you got to make them respect it. All right? You don't live in the life. I always want to hit them with it early in the game, so now the rest of the game they're completely guessing because you just showed it and you did it. So the next time you show it, they got to honor it. And then that's when you're coming from the other side, or you're playing the coverage principle behind it to take away the route concept they do. Right? So for us, orange means we're showing opposite of the pressure, right? So if we're coming from the field, right, orange is white, right? If we're coming from the boundary, right, our pressure's coming from the boundary, orange is silver, right? So it's not a new concept. All we're saying is, hey, we want to show pressure opposite, that's why it's orange, of where we're actually coming from, right? Because you just went neon. So now the next time you show that, what are they going to do? They're going to slide to it. Well, now we want to be able to come off the opposite side, right? So all it is for us, right, if we're coming from the boundary, right, then all orange becomes a silver, right? So again, first apex piece, right, starts the string. There's the pull. On indicator, we're rotating back, and now we're coming from the opposite side, right? So exact same principles, right, based on opposite sides. All right, so same thing. Backer, safety pulled, right, boom, coming from the boundary, right. Now, nope, same thing, orange, 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 got the indicator, right, we're coming from the opposite side. They check the run, you're right into it, right. So again, all orange is silver or white, right. It's just opposite of what pressure you call. So if you call field pressure, right, then obviously you are showing white. If you call boundary pressure, then you are showing silver. Right, so again, good thing, same concept. So now look, they're going to look at rotation. Right, so here it is. Right, looking at field, there's a rotation. Right, and then now we're going to come from the boundary. So we'll read the center on this look. Right, bring the corner with it. But we already showed what? Pressure to the field. So now where did we get? We got the slide to the field. So now we're going to read the slide on that. We're going to bring the corner. So we're going to occupy the back, right? And now our mic's going to be scot-free. Right, so again, everything was done on that, right? Not because you called the curve pressure, right? Because you did what? You dictated the protection. Why? By the disguise. So you showed the field side pressure to get the what? Slide, right? Knowing, right, you're coming weak side, and now you're going to get 3 on 2, right? Because you put the 2 out weak, right, to occupy the weak side A gap, and then now, hey, center slides away, they can't win. Why? You got 3 for 2, right? Not because we had the best pressure call, right? No, because we dictated the protection, right? So to me, right, that's what those, obviously the silver, the white, the maroon, the neon, and the orange give you the flexibility to do, okay? All right, now we're getting to a 2-high principle, right? So now we're going to have a 2-high shell and truly play 2-high, just like we started with 1-high, right? So again, we'll call quarters, right, which we call meant for mod here, right? So we're showing cover 4, we're playing cover 4, right? So again, ain't on here for no other reason than, right, we're lined up in it, right, boom, we're playing, right? Same thing, right, 3 by 1, we're showing 2-high, right, we're playing 2-high, all right? So again, nothing to see on that. It's just obviously you got to be able to show 2-high and play 2-high to be able to show 2-high and play 1-high. Because it's not going to do you any good if all you do every time you do this is bring them down. Because every time you're in 2-high, they already know you're going to rotate, so it's going to be what? It's going to be 1-high. Right? So these things got to complement each other. Right? So we'll show 2-high, play inside leverage on the slots. We'll show 2-high, play outside leverage on the slots, right, based on the coverage that we called. Right? And obviously we'll work both of those. Okay? So there was inside leverage, here's outside leverage, because we'll get into our 2-high disguises where the leverage will be dictated off the disguise tag. All right, so again, all it is showing 2-high, playing 2-high. All right, so obviously now our disguises, right, we're going to show a 2-high and we're going to play a 1-high, right, whether it being a man or a zone principle. So for us, when we tag high, right, we're showing split safety coverage, and what our coverage is cover 7. We want to show outside leverage with our nickel, right? Because when we're playing cover 7, we play 7 bracket, the star's outside. Because what a lot of teams will start doing, if you start disguising a lot, right, with the roof safeties, they start reading your nickel. So we build in the nickel's leverage to the split safety disguises, right? So high for us would be outside leverage, right, by the star, 2-high disguise for the safety. You got their normal dividers for the 2-high coverage that you've called, right? And for the backers, right, every time we call high, we are showing 7 bracket. So they know, hey, we tied high, 1 invert. We're showing 7 bracket. We're playing what? 1 invert. So there's no, where do I line up? No, where would you line up in 7 bracket? Line up there. On indicator, what am I doing? I'm moving to 1 invert. All right, so this is very simple to where you don't have to go through and work tons of disguise periods because you've married the disguise with the coverage you have. And so all we're telling you is, hey, pre-indicator, when I call high, line up in 7 bracket, which is something we play a lot. And then when you get the indicator, now what coverage did we call? 1 invert. Now I move to my 1 invert alignment and execute the call. All right, so again, same thing. You go high, right, cover 6. You're showing cover 7, right, boom, on indicator, and then now you're playing cover 6. Right, so again, show 2-high, right, obviously if it's a 2 by 2, right, rotation to the 2 receiver side. If it's a 3 by 1, right, we'll have rotation to the 3 receiver side. But pre-snap, right, our guys will make this look like stubby, right, or mini, whatever you guys call it, right, in a quarters principle. To the weak side, we're going to look like we got the Z doubled. Obviously on this look, right, really be the X on this look, right, and then obviously we'll move on the indicator. All right. So same look, right? And the big thing for us, especially when we're coming down as a buzz player, so this is going to look just like stubby for us, right? Press corner, right? Star outside leverage, right? Money backer is the poster. So this is our base quarters look, right? So then now anytime we're coming down in the buzz or 6, we hold the disguise until the ball turns over, right? So now he's coming down as the strong hook piece, right? He's the weak hook piece for first, right? Curl flat, which we carry the seam and rip Liz. Right, post the pinner playing cheat off the quarterback. So now we've completely changed from the 2-high to what? 1-high, right? Now we're playing zone, right? Under coverage, right? Vertical threats, got the flat out leverage, right? Make Justin Fields come down with the ball, right? Be able to get some pressure with the defensive line, right? But again, all it is, right? High, showing our 7 bracket, our quarters principle, right? Outside leverage of the star, 1-high rotation, whatever the 1-high that you call. right? Whether it's field rotation or boundary rotation, doesn't matter. All right, so same thing here, right? Hide, 7 bracket, right? So again, there it is. Boom, ball turns over. We're getting on the buzz. All right, so now watch. Press corner, outside leverage of the star, right? Safety in the fit, they think 7 bracket, right? So again, 7 bracket to us, guess what? We don't have a middle of the field player, right? We go close the middle of the field. He thinks he's got the star, right? Boom, throws it right to the post player. All right, so again, same thing, right? Pre-snap, watch his eyes. Outside, sees it, right? Boom, cover 7, right? If this was cover 6, right? Boom, he sees it, he'd have bailed early, right? Holds the disguise, never reads the backside safety, right? There's the post, throws it right to him, right? So again, nothing about it was a great coverage called, right? All we did is we changed the pitcher for who? Quarterback. He already predetermined right now exactly where he was going with the ball, right? Sees the star, right? Boom, likes the matchup, right? Knows exactly where he's going, right? Think he's getting the quarters principle right. Then we go 1 high, close the middle of the field. Right, so same thing, split safety disguise, right? 2x2 look, right? Boom, ball turns over. Now we're coming down, same principle, right? Rip list principle, right? Obviously playing pattern match, close the middle of the field, right? They think they've got a 2-high beater on this, right? With leverage on the backer, playing 1 high coming to you. All right, so all this is hide, 2-high disguise, playing our quarters principle, look pre-snap, ball turns over. We're inserting whether we insert weak or strong based on game plan. They thought he's staying high because it's a 2-high pitcher. Boom, he comes down straight into buzz, right? Obviously slant window of 2, breeding all leverage on the star because they think they're in bracket. He's coming down, right? Pick 6, throw it right to him. All right, so again, same thing, right? Making the quarterback, they predetermine so many things. When they start running RPOs based on leverage and shell, that he already thinks and knows where he's going with the ball. And then now he's not reading rotation anymore. He's reading the movement key. They've got leverage. It's in break and route, and he has no idea of the safety rotation. All right, now hold for us is now we're truly showing inside leverage with the apex players, right? Like our true cover 4, right? Instead of outside leverage with the star, right? So the only difference we said, hey, if we called hide, he'd be outside leverage showing 7 bracket, which is a big call for us, right? If we call hold, then now he's showing mint for mod, where he would be the apex piece. So now we want to show true press quarters in our hide front, and then now we're going to be able to close the middle of the field and stop all the true 4 press quarter beaters, right? And then change the leverage, right, on the slot. All right, so pre-snap for us right now, a lot of people read the leverage of the star for us. So they know we're not playing 7 bracket. They see us in an odd front. So for us, everybody thinks we're playing cover 4. Press corners, it's 4 press, right? Both safeties now are responsible for what? The vertical threats of 2 and 4, right? So again, we'd rush this, and this guy would have first to the flat. Well now, right, boom, ball comes over, right? We're playing our starfish principle. So now this turns into man. He's man on 3. He's man on 2, right? We got a 3-on-2 funnel, right, on the back to 2 rats, and now we're closing the middle of the field, right? So we've got leverage on the back, we got leverage on the Y, we've got leverage on the slot, all quarter beater principles, right? And now we got 2 low hole rats with vision, right, be able to spy the quarterback, right? But again, predetermined, pre-snap, everything we do is mod with what? Mod with poach. They're thinking, hey, we're getting one-on-one on the backer, right? So where are they running? RX game. Right, now you got your change up, you're going your 1 high, now the jack's taking obviously him right on the wheel route, right, so you got leverage, don't get picked, right, but again, it's all about the disguise pre-snap, right, same pitcher, right, boom, hold, right, showing mint for mod, right, for us, boom, now we come close it, now obviously they're 2-on-1 on the back to the rat, leverage to the star, right, playing man on that, right, got leverage, post defender, right, reading indicator on that, right, and we're going to get the hand on the picket, right? So again, biggest thing for us, hide and hold to the 2 safeties, same principles, right? It's the leverage of the apex players, right? In hide, right, we're telling them right now, you're outside leverage, right? On hold, we're telling them you're inside leverage, all right? So a lot of guys, when you start rotating the safeties, don't base it on the shell of the safeties anymore. They base it on the leverage of the nickel. Right, whether he's inside or he's outside leverage. All right. Now, the thing to me is, right, you got to be able to obviously show a too high shell look and still be able to pressure out of it, right? So again, obviously we've got a too high disguise on this, right? Right? We outside leverage with the star on this, right? So again, we got our high principle, right? And then now we're converting this into a field side pressure, right? We like this versus empty. Coming down into field buzz, right? We're playing cheat. We've got an area call weak, right? And then we got the bonus dropper on that. They'll still slide this, right? So you get the free hitter, right? But same thing. Too high, they're thinking, hey, playing mini to the 3 receiver side, right? Playing 3/2 weak, right? You send somebody that's not supposed to come, right? Boom, drop it in the zone, be able to close the middle of the field. So, again, we're showing too high, play 1 high, showing too high, play too high, show too high, right, and then have the ability to pressure off of it, right? And whatever you're coming in it, right, whether we're simulating pressure like this for us, the 4 and a 3D principle, right, coming off the field, right, but it doesn't matter, right? You got to give them the picture, hey, we're showing too high, playing too high, hey, we're going to show too high, we're going to play 1 high coverage, right? We're going to show too high, right? And we're going to work to send the pressure, right? So again, same thing, right? And that's when obviously it ties back in to, right, to all those pressure disguises, and now they can't get the indicator on you, right? So obviously 3x1 ability coming from the field, right? Same principle on this, showing 7 bracket to the field. Our money backer is always the apex piece weak, right? So this is obviously high for us, showing cover 7, right? And then sending, right, our money backer, right, going from 2 high to 1 high with edge pressure, right? Trying to create the one-on-one on the back, right, or the free hitter, right? And all you're doing is now they've got the quarters beater to the boundary, right? It's the snag and go, right? Trying to get the safety. And now you're not playing a quarters principle, right? You're playing 1 high, playing man, right? Working to close the middle of the field, right? So again, showing 2 high with the ability to pressure from the field, showing 2 high with the ability to pressure from the boundary. And then the same thing that we talked about earlier, right? You got to be able to show 2 high and still bring the corner, right? So again, we talked about it earlier, right? We work it, we love it. They're pointing it out, right? So same principle, showing your 2 high principle, right? Having the ability to bring the field side guy, the boundary backer, right? Or the boundary corner, right? Based on it from a run game standpoint, right? Slanting the front the other direction, all right? Same thing for us. So weak side, we want to have the ability, like we said, 2 high, bring the backer, 2 high, bring the corner, 2 high, bring the safety, right? So now you come back and you've been hitting him with show and all that. So he's been down, he went back, boom, now he's down, now he's coming, right? Does that make sense? So again, they can never get the feel. Most teams, from an offensive perspective, right, are reading the boundary safety, right? So once you get into the show world, right, once you get into obviously the silver world, right, and you're playing with this alignment, you're hiding, you're holding, right, and then now he's coming down, playing coverage, he's coming down and pressuring, right, it gets really cloudy for the quarterback with him. So then they start trying to read the nickel, right? So then that's why we tie all 3 of those pieces in together, right, so that they know. All right, but again, same principles, right? So then now, hey, this is our quarters principle look, apex, right, that we were calling, obviously, hold earlier, right? But that's our pre-snap, mint-for-mod look. And then now we got the ability to bring the star, right, play 2 trap, we'll steal the backside safety. So now from a quarter standpoint, they're thinking the star's out leverage first to the flat, right? And now you're trapping with the corner. All right, but it's the same principle, showing the 2 high quarters principle, bring in the guys, right, and then changing the coverage principle behind it. All right, same thing, right? So again, boom, we've got it, right? We're going hide right now, right? Looks like our buster look. We play a lot of 52 bracket out of this, right? Boom, now 2 high disguise, right? Bringing the boundary pressure. Mug to get the 5-0, right? Free hitter, right? Sack quarterback, all right? But again, the big piece to this, right, is showing that 2 high presentation. We play a lot of 2-man, right, on 3rd down. Mug the center to get the 5-0, right? We're in a lot of 5-man games and play 2 high. Give the same presentation, right? And then work your pressure off of it, right? And all it's done is with the tag disguise, okay? And then obviously, you know, we'll show a 2 high shell, right? Like we've been doing, right? So again, hide, hide, hide. And then we'll work internal pressures with our backers, right? So again, this isn't a pressure clinic by any means. All it is, right, is just telling you from a disguise standpoint, right, how to tag things, but then still having the flexibility to run all your pressures out of them, right? But pre-snap, right, you're giving him, and more importantly him, right, a picture that they're anticipating the coverage to be, and then it changes. And it changes to a zone principle, it changes to a man principle, and it changes to a pressure principle, right? And again, it's very easy. There ain't a lot of calls, right? Very simple, and then you marry it to your package, all right? Now, all those, right, were from a coverage aspect, right, of, hey, we're going to show this picture, play this picture. Hey, we're going to show this picture, right, and then play the opposite concept, right, from 2 high to 1 high, from 1 high to 2 high, and change up those leverages on the slots, right? Or we're going to get into, hey, we're going to show pressure, right, from the field, play coverage, right? We're going to show pressure from the boundary, we're going to play coverage. Oh, we're going to show pressure to the field, we're going to bring pressure to the field. Hey, we're going to show pressure from the boundary, we're going to bring pressure from the boundary, right? So all of that's from a back-end disguise standpoint, right? Now what we're talking about, right, really quickly, right, is just the front disguise, all right? So for us, all it is flinch for us, right, is we're going to show an odd front, and then we're going to move to a 4-down front. So just like what we were trying to do for the quarterback, right, of change his pre-snap anticipation to his post-snap decision, right, we're making the O-line reset all their calls, right? So all we're doing on this, we play a lot of odd, right, where there's 2 4 eyes and a 0 nose, right? We call that our mint package. Well, the blocking structure versus 2 4 eyes and a 0 is completely different than a 4-down front, obviously, as most of you guys know, right? So that a lot of people, when you give them this look, have mint scheme runs. And they have certain runs designed, right, obviously be able to beat the mint front. So instead of pulling guards, right, like they would in a 4-down, when you give them 2 4 eyes, they pull tackles, right? Try to get 2 guys in the same gap. So all we're doing is we're showing odd, and then now we'll give the move indicator on that, right? Boom, there's the hands. And then now we're flinching to flex, our 4-down. So we call it flinch, right? Because then for our guys, they know, hey, I line in mint, but I'm moving to what? Flex, right? Which is the 4-down front, right? So flinch for us, a line in mint, right? Boom, and then we flinch to flex. But it's the same thing. So they've got their call. There's the look, right, which we play all the time. They making their calls. You already made them. Boom. Now we move, ball, snap. It has completely changed the blocking structure and what run most people have called based on the front that you were in, right? And then on top of that, right, we get a lot of guys to jump offside, you know, so we try to be violent in it, right? I think that's the big coaching point up front on this. And this is nothing. Right? So instead of calling your 4-down front, whatever you call it, over and under, all you're doing now is saying, hey, we're going to start and under or move to over. Or we're going to start and over and move to under. For us, we play a lot of odd. We get odd scheme runs. We're going to show them odd, and then we're going to flinch to 4-down. Right? And then we'll have our mechanism, right, to be able to do the opposite. So same thing here, right? Boom. They get a 4-eye with a Sierra player. They're going to call the back end. They're going to run zone cut. Right? It's all over the film. Right? So flinch, boom, get them, they set it, comes back in, ain't got time to change the play. So now there isn't a 4-eye, now there's a true 5 technique, right? Playing surf, right? You got the quarterback player. Right? So again, same thing like we talked about the offenses, shifting to unbalance, right? Motioning, going tackle over, trading the back. All of our stuff, what? Changes. Our guys got to what? They got to recommunicate. Right? Why in the hell wouldn't we make it do them then? All right, we're going to make them do that. All right, so that's all we're trying to do, whether it's in the run game calls, the ace, the duo, right? We're going to make that change. Or from a pass concept standpoint, right, the protection, right, is going to go from an odd down count, right, to a 4-down count. All right, so again, we'll do it, but the good thing is if you do it violently, right, then a lot of these dudes now are going off of movement. Because a lot of this is silent count, right? So they can't prep the back tip, right? So boom, if you'll move, and we don't need to do a great job in a flinch right here, but watch the tackle, boom, he jumps, right? We get this all the time, right? This was a poor look, right, of being violent, right, in the movement. But all we did is start in a 0, 2, 4 eyes, and now we're just moving to over or under. That's all we're doing, right? And our way to do that is flinch, but you'll be amazed. There it is. There's the movement, right? Boom, he gets them. Right, and right now, boom, instead of it's 1st and 10, right, it's 1st and 15, right, they're behind the chains, right, so move, right, talking to the front, is now we'll start in our 4-down, we'll start in our over front, and now we'll move to our odd, So when we move to mint, right? So we flinch to flex, we move to mint. So then our guys can remember, right, hey, the first letter in the call, right, is the front you're playing, mint and flex, right? Always line up in the opposite call. So then for us, we're showing the 4-down presentation, boom. Now we're moving to our 2-4 eyes and our 0 nose. So all we're trying to do, because all week, these guys have had runs in for what? Mint. And they check them. If they're in mint, this is what we want to run, right? So again, you hold it till you get the indicator. Now you move. So now we're playing what we love versus the run, 2-4 eyes and a 0 nose for the angles, right, to let the backers flow, but you don't get them in their best play, right? So again, all that is, right, is just stem in the front, right? Same indicator that you use for everything else in the back end. We make the move or the flinch call, right? Our outside backers are responsible for it, right? So again, you'll see them, right? Boom, they all go at the same time. And all it's doing is going from a right-handed stance, right? Boom, to a left-handed stance, or a left-handed stance to a right-handed stance, right? And we mess with our offense all the damn time just to piss off the line coach, but, you know, so we'll do the same thing. But this is a better job of being violent with it, right? So get boom. All we're doing is changing the hand, boom, right? So watch, right? Always very nice, right? So again, you're showing 2-eye, boom, opposite hand down, going to 4-eye, all right? That's all you need, all right? So again, we like doing these a lot too on short yardage, because what are they going to do to you on short yardage? They're going to hard count. Why? To get you to jump off sides to give them what? Move the chains, right? Free first down, they ain't got to execute the play. Well, shit, they got the same dumbasses we got on our side now, right? So when we start moving and we start stemming, right, they're going to jump. So now instead of a 3rd and 1, it's 3rd and 6. You've completely changed the personnel that's in the game and the play that is called, right? So again, we'll work those obviously in short yard situations, obviously as long as they're not tempo situations, right? And then when we talk about pairing, right, stems and disguises, all that's saying is, right, is hey, we'll go, hey, hide, right, flinch, right? So we'll go hide, flinch, 6-bump Bronco, right? So then now all it ends up being, right, boom, we're hiding the coverage, right, boom, we're moving the front. So then now we're going to show 2-eye, play 1-high. We showed 4 down, play mint, or we showed mint, right, our eye, and played 4 down, right? So again, to them, now you've messed with the what? You've messed with the front, you've messed with the quarterback, all the same call for these dudes, right? Instead of calling flex, we call it flinch, right? Instead of just hard calling 6, we call it hide 6, all right? So it'd be flinch, hide 6. And then now you're getting, right, mint to 4 down, you're getting 2-high to 1-high, right? And it'd just be like calling flex 6-bump Bronco, but the presentation for all 11 guys on the field just changed, including the offensive coordinator, right? So to me, right, there's no reason for us not to make them communicate, right, and make them react to us. I think that's the biggest piece, and whatever your package is, right, it's not adding calls to your package, it's not adding more pressures to your package, it's not adding more coverages, right? How can we dictate where they're going with the football, right? You do it by stemming and disguising with things that you do. And then now you tie in the complement to it. If I show them this, what are they going to? Okay, what in my system takes that away? Well, then I'm the tag silver with that call. I'm the tag white with that call. I'm the tag hide with that call. Every time they're in 2-high, they run speed out to the boundary with the fade. All right, well, we're going to go hide, cover 6. We're going to bail the corner. We're going to drop the safety down, and he's got the flat. So all you're doing it, right, is just pairing it with calls that you have, but there's a rhyme and a reason of why you're doing it. I think that's the biggest thing. I think your kids will understand it because you've married it to something that's in your system, right, and it's very simple. Right, so same thing here, right? So you get in the front movement, show them the 2-high, right? So again, we're moving to mint, right? We've got hide on the call. We're holding the strong 3 presentation, right? Go from 2-high to 1-high, right? Go from 4 down to hide, right? And again, making them adjust on the move, right? Changing the picture, make them check. All right, now, real quick, right? I know I'm getting a little long-winded here, all right? And again, I'm looking forward to the Q&A on Wednesday. And, you know, so the big thing, anything that comes up, you know, man, just put your question down, and I'll be on the whiteboard, and we'll get it knocked out. All right, but I don't know how much you guys see it, but, you know, we get a lot of check with me, right? Meaning this, right? So, again, they're going to line up, right? Boom, they're going to get set, right? They're going to give you the cadence look, right? Boom. And now they're checking to the sideline. right? So now all they're doing, right, their OC from the sideline or in the box is like, all right, well, what coverage are they in? All right, perfect. Here's the run game that I want, right? We got exactly what we want, right? They're a guy short. Here we go, right? So this is what we talk about of having the chalk last, right? So they'll go, boom, they see it already. All right, they look to the sideline, check with me. Well, now they're getting in the best possible play they can based the look that they just saw, right? So for us, right, and I don't need to show you all these things, but, you know, we talk about from a check with me standpoint, right, the indicators of the check with me. Because we'll have people that we call it rebot, that fake check, right? But again, this week, the big indicator between when they did it or not in Ohio State was the tight end. So if the quarterback looked to the sideline and the tight end stood up, then it was truly a check. They were checking. They didn't have a play called. They went hurry up, right, to get you to line up to try to do what? Keep you simple in your call because it was tempo. And then now they're going to see what you're in. They're going to get the best play based on the coverage in the front that you're in, and they're going to call it. And if you stay in it, they're going to wear your ass out all night, right? So, to me, right, check with me, what's your kill plan, right? So for us, when we say kill plan, right, that means, hey, we were in this, right? We were in a one-high coverage, right? Well, now I'm going to kill the call, meaning I'm going to send in a new call, and guess what? We're going to go one high to what? To two high, right? So, hey, we were in one invert, boom, hey, they kill, right, boom, check cover two. Right, check quarter, half, whatever it is. The OC, hey, saw one high, he's calling us one high beaters. Now we're going to change one high to two high, right? Very easy. Or, obviously, the opposite of that, right? Hey, I'm in a two high coverage. Boom, they check, right? Well, then now we're going to kill to a what? Kill to a one high coverage. So the first two concepts, obviously, right, is to change the coverage that you're in. Two high to one high to two high, right? Well, all you got to do that is once. Right? Because then the next time, right, I think the hard part of killing, right, is getting all 11 guys back on the same page when you check the call. Right? But once you do it the first time, then now when they do that again, they're anticipating for you to do what you just did. Right? They're going to think that's your plan. So what we'll do is, hey, we'll kill from a one-high coverage to a two-high disguise that we just went through. So then now you didn't change the call. But what happened? You showed one high, and then they check, we tag hide. The call is the call, but guess what? That safety that was down, right, is going to come back. And now what did you just check the play before? You went from one high to what? Two high. Well, then now all you're going to do, right, he's going to come back and look exactly the same, and then on the indicator, he's coming right back, and you didn't have to change the call. You're playing the integrity of the coverage that you called. But all you got to do, just like we talked about that neon early, is all you got to do is change the coverage early on the kill. And then after that, guess what up? I'm going to use disguises. So then that way, right, we don't have to change the actual call, right, and hope all 11 guys get it in time before the ball is snapped. So I think this, for us, is a huge part of college football, of playing that game in the kill, right? And then obviously they screwed up with this, right? So again, kill two high coverage to what? One high disguise. So, hey, we're in cover two. Hey, sugar. They kill sugar. So now it looks like you're going from two high to what? One high. No, and guess what? On indicator, you're coming right back and you're playing the coverage that you originally called. But what happened you do early in the game? You were two high, and what did you do? You killed the one high coverage. Right? So once you do one of these early, then now use your what? Use your disguises. So then now all 11 guys don't have to change the call. They're showing the picture like the coverage changed, and they're coming right back to the original call, right? And then another thing, obviously, that we work, right, is pressure to pressure. Meaning, hey, we're showing field pressure, boom, now, boom, they can't run the opposite way or slide a protection. We're checking the pressure to the opposite side. But I think the key to this drill is your kids knowing that week. Hey, when we got field sting called, and they check with me, what do you anticipate me to call? Boomer, coach. That's boundary pressure. Right? Understanding the complement. And I think that's big when you're putting in pressures. What is the complement to this pressure? Right? And then obviously we'll truly kill pressure. We showed pressure to coverage. Alright, so just real quick, right? Nothing big, right? So again, obviously in the red zone, boom, they go check, right? They get us in a quarters principle. They love this free release back angle. So we immediately go to a man principle, and then we get the extra right over here to get leverage on the back. right? So again, same thing. They got us in a too-high principle. I knew it. This was their quarters beater. So our kids immediately knew, Coach, where are you killing to? It's 10 and in. We're going sticky, 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 right? Which is one of our low red coverages, right? But again, same principles, right? But again, changing that picture, right? Because they just changed the call based on what you were in, right? So same thing, Oklahoma. What are we doing? We're in a too-high look. So we give him a 5-man what? 5-man box. He kills. Why? Based on the box count. Right, so boom, right there, he knows. So now what we kill? We go from too high to what? Too high to one high. Why? So we can have a 6-man what? 6-man box. So now they check the run, right? Boom, then now you got the extra hitter because now you're in the box. Right? So again, this ain't rocket science by any means, but I do think having the ability to kill early, 2 out of 1 high, 1 out of 2 high, but then my big thing is the disguises. Because once you do that, then that OC's like, hey, if they're on 1 high, what are they going to go to? 2 high. So then the next time they do it, what? You killed to a 2 high what? Disguise, now you came right back, right? And you did what? Played 1 high, right? Because he just is going to call his what? His 2 high beaters, right? And then now after that, they're not going to do it anymore. Why? Because they can't determine what you're in. They don't know if you're going to go back and actually play the 2 high look or come right back and play the 1 high look. So they get out of it, right? But you dictate that. Don't let them dictate that, right? So again, it goes back to the same principle, right? We're going to show the hands, right? So same thing on that, right? So then we'll kill, right? But we had it on there earlier, right? 2 high, right? All right, perfect. They're going to bring him in, run the run game, right? Boom, we'll bring the field side pressure, right? So boom, Falcons, 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 field side pressure, right? Boom, come on, get us an 8-man box, right? Let's get ready to roll, right? And then same thing. So again, he's coming down, right? So what did we kill before to? Right? To our 2 high. Right? So now they know, hey, boom, there he goes. All right, there's the point. All right, what's he going back to? Going back to 2 high, right? Hey, hide, 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 right? Boom, coming right back. Then now we're coming right back on the indicator, and now we're playing cover 6, and now they're running right into it. All right, so again, playing that game within the game, and all it is with the disguises. Having killed 1 call, right? The 2 out of the 1 high, the 1 out of the 2 high, right? And again, so it's nothing. Right now, this is what we're talking about, pressure with pressure. And this is primarily responsible for us, right, on 3rd down. Right? So again, we've shown naturally field side pressure. Right? So again, we've given them a balanced look on that. So then now, hey, we had field side pressure calls. So what are they going to do? Slide. There's the point. So now we kill to the boundary pressure. Right? So now we come 4 off the weak side because we knew the field slide was coming. Because obviously we were coming from the field. We kill opposite pressure, right? You get 2 on 1 on the back just like you want, right? You get the sack, right? So again, we'll have those mechanisms, but this was done in the week. Hey, we had Subway called, boom. Hey, they check. What we checking to, boys? Wendy's. Let's roll, right? Strong side to weak side, right? 4 off the side, right? Let's get ready to roll. And then you got to have the ability to me, right, like we talked about earlier. Hey, I'm showing pressure, right? Boom. Now to kill the coverage. Right, so again, we like this. We blitz the boundary backer, right? Get to bear a lot, right? So they see it. We put it on tape a bunch. Boom. So now they're checking what? Checking speed up, right? So boom, we kill a line eye, 2 high look, take the backer out of the pressure, squeeze and scrape it, right? Get the backer over the top, right? He was the B gap blitzer. Boom, they killed, we killed, get them out of it. But going into the game, they know, hey, we got internal pressure. They kill. What we killing to? Go killing to a line eye, right? You did it throughout the week, but you had a plan. Right, and you know what you were going to. All right, so I think that's the big piece. And then obviously, right, once you get to do all that, then if they check on me, you can just run your defense because they've done it enough and you've changed enough to guess what? They ain't changed in the play no more. Watch them. No, you good, homeboy, run it. Why? Because you changed it, right? You disguised it. So then now you're right back, right, and you've taken that part out of the game. And I think that's a big piece to it, right? And we're good. All right, just real quick. Obviously, I think this is beyond the disguises, right? Beyond all that, I think the big thing to coaching, to me, is reaching your room. And I think, obviously, we got all different types of walk in our room at different ages, different IQ levels, different backgrounds. So, you know, I think as a coach, you're a teacher. And I think as a teacher, you got to understand how your kids learn. And so for us, to me, there's 3 modalities of learning. Right, so again, there's auditory people. Like, so as I'm talking to you, right, I can say, hey, we got a 1-word call, right? We call it bangs. Yeah, that's base under O, double 7 adjusted slot. right? So, hey, if they're 2x2 and there's a 4-week, right, we're playing cover 7 quarters match, right? Hey, there's no 4-week, right? It's 3x1 set, back strong. We're playing Linda Buzz. Hey, if it's single width, we, S and Z on the same side, corner's over, we're playing slot, right? Low hole, high hole, man coverage. I could tell that to an auditory guy, right? He's the same kid that can sit into a lecture classroom, right? Not take a note, right? Not see a visual, walk out and ace the test. I ain't got them cats, and I'm sure you probably don't either, right? So there's very few guys in my room that just when I'm verbally talking to them and I'm not showing them a picture, I'm not drawing it up on the board, that they can really learn it, right? But there are those learners, right? Some of you guys might be that way, right? So you might get bags. I'm going to ask you what bags means on Wednesday. All right? Then number 2, right, there's visual guys, right? So again, it's the picture book dudes, right? So again, we give them the diagram up. Here it is, right? Here's bags. Here's every diagram. This is what it is, which one you're going to. Right behind it, you'll show them the clip of the film, right? Visual, they see it, they got it. I didn't have to say a word. Right? You put it up, boom, they saw it, they got it, they know it, right? Then there's the kinesthetic piece, right? So again, we talked about auditory, right? Players that learn in a lecture setting and are able to apply it on the field, right? So obviously, if you got guys in those rooms, then you got to verbalize things as you're coaching, right? Then you got those visual guys, right? So you got to give them pictures, right? Whether it be in still shots, right? Diagrams, right? The actual video clip. They've got to be able to see it. Coach, man, I need to see it. Show it to me, right? So you have those guys in your room. And then to me, I think the most guys in my room are kinesthetic guys, right? Meaning they actually have to do it. Like you've got to walk them through a coach. Like it has to happen to me. Like, hey, yeah, coach, we're calling cut. Yeah, I got a 45 skate release. See the release of 5 through 4. They got to do it, right? I can draw it on the board. I can tell them all they want. They go out there, they're going to screw it up. Why? Because they're kinesthetic learners. They got to walk through it, and it's got to happen to them, right? So to me, as a coach, right, very few guys have the opportunity to know exactly how everybody learns in their room, especially with new players coming in, the turnover, everything else, right? So to me, as a coach, right, the talk it, chalk it, walk it method makes sure that you hit what? All modalities of learning, right? So all that's saying is, hey, I'm going to verbally communicate it to them in a meeting structure as what? I'm writing it up on the board, right? Or there's a diagram on the video with a video clip, and then we're actually going to walk through it, right, before practice. So all it would be for us, right, diagram of the defense and the coverage, followed by a clip of us doing it, right? And then obviously as they're looking at that, I'm verbalizing how to set the front, right, what the coverage call is, what the run fit is, right, going through that, right? And then before we ever practice, we're going to go through and 2-spot a walkthrough, and we're going to walk through what we just installed. So then that way, that kinesthetic guy, right, that we just had an hour-long meeting watching video and me talking, didn't learn shit, that we go walk through it, and he has the ability to learn it before we ask him to do it in a full-speed environment, right? So to me, from a coaching aspect, right, that's when we talk about talk it, chalk it, walk it, right? That's making sure you're hitting all 3 modalities of learning, right? How do you do it, right? There it is. To me, you know, in order for there to be teaching, there must be learning, right? I mean, so again, it ain't what we know, it's what they know. All right, and then what I'll leave you with is a teaching progression. I think the big thing, regardless whether you're putting in a coverage, you're putting in a pressure, you're putting in a front, it doesn't matter. Like my guys know in my room, right, it's AAKTF, right? The first thing they're going to do in every call that we have is, hey, I'm going to give them their alignment, right? Hey, I'm a 10 backer. Hey, I'm a 30 backer. Hey, the corner, I'm a press corner. I'm 1x8, right? I'm the nickel. I'm 1x6, right? I'm the defensive end. I'm a 5 technique. I'm a 3 technique, right? We're going to go through and, hey, they're going to know, all right, what is my alignment, right? And we'll get to where we talk about teaching versus performance, right? So there's, hey, on the board, you're a 10 backer, you're a 40 backer, right? And then there's performance alignment, right? I did my film study. I know what's coming. Well, shit, performance align, right? To be able to play the play, right? So again, with our guys, obviously whatever we're installing, it's alignment first, right? Then the next thing we're going to talk about is their assignment, right? Obviously, they're going to have a run responsibility, right? And they're going to have a pass responsibility if they're a second-level player, right? But it's alignment, assignment, right? Then, once they know where to line up, right, what do they have versus the run and the pass, then now, what do they look at? All right, so we tell them their key, right? Well, for us, we'll have a primary key and a secondary key, right? And that'll be dictated on the front and the coverage that is called. But that progression, right, we'll never talk about the key before we tell them, hey, where do I line up? What's my run responsibility? What's my pass responsibility? All right, now, how do I look at to get it, right? And then we talk about the technique. Because I promise you, look, until you get them three, this don't matter. Doesn't matter. If they don't know where to line up, what to do versus the run and the pass, and who to look at, right? It won't matter where his hand placement is, how good his stance is, his pad level, it ain't going to matter. He's going to be in the wrong damn gap, he's going to be reading the wrong damn guy, or he's going to be dropping the wrong way. It won't matter. So I think that is a common mistake, right? Especially with young coaches. They're going to see all these pretty little drills that are technique driven, right? They're working all this footwork and hand placement and all that. That's fine and dandy, and you'll get to that. But you're going to get to that when, hey, when your defense, they know, and every call that you got, where to line up, what to do versus the run and pass, and who to look at. Because the only time this matters is when that dude's as good or better than them. All right? But I've seen this right here lose a bunch of damn games because of mental errors. Because they don't know what to do. Why? In the summer, what are they doing? They're working on damn W drill. They're working on their pass drops. Instead of having their ass in the film room studying the playbook so they know where to line up, who to look at, and what to do. All right? So again, they shouldn't be working any of this piece until they master that. All right? And then we talk about the finish, right? Of how it balls in the air. Hey, how do I finish on the ball from an interception standpoint? How do I finish from a PBU standpoint? All right, what's the tackling situation? Hey, this is a 2-on-1 vice. Hey, this is a sideline, right? Hey, this is a midline, right? Hey, this is a vault, right? We'll put them in the situation, right? Hey, ball's on the ground, right? Boom. Right, I'm in the country, right? Ain't nobody around, scoop and score. Hey, man, I'm in the city, right? People everywhere, traffic, right? Boom. I secure, right? Going through those things, right? So again, as you look at this, right, it's essentially what I just said, right? But again, I think to me as a coach, especially with my young freshmen, right? We got some guys in here for spring ball that graduated early. So look, man, your spring goals, right, is alignment, assignment, and key. If you could come out of spring, right, knowing where to line up, right, what you've had versus the run and the pass, and what's your primary and secondary key, and every call we got, you're shoulders head and above, right, most freshmen that will be coming into the fall. And then guess what that'll allow us to do in the summer and the fall? Is really lock in on your technique. And we're going to work on your pad level, and we're going to work on your footwork, and we're going to work on your hand strike, and we're going to do all those things, and we're going to coach that better than anybody, right? But until you know where to line up, what's my responsibility running the pass, and who I'm looking at, it won't matter, right? And I think that's the biggest thing, especially if you don't have a lot of time with guys, right? It's walking through to where they know where to line up, what they've got, put them in run-fit drills, doing those things, right? And then once they've got it, then it's working on the technique piece, right? But again, I truly believe that. That's just something that obviously you guys can look at. I know I spoke pretty quickly on that, right? But y'all can take a picture of that, and again, from a philosophy standpoint. And then obviously the last thing is I think an eye progression. I think a lot of kids don't understand when they're coming up and they get the signal from the sideline, what is my eye progression, right? So we teach our guys, it's called scan, zoom, snap, right? So the first thing I'm going to do, right, regardless of the call, is I'm going to scan the formation, right? So we talk about that, right? We're scanning what personnel are they in, right? That's why you do scouting reports. Hey, they're in 10 personnel, 11 personnel, 12 personnel, whatever you call your personnel groupings, right? Because that's why you've done your homework on what's the run pass based on the personnel they're in, right? And then we're looking for the split variations, meaning, hey, we got wide splits by the receiver, are there tight splits by the receiver? Is one on the ball? Is two on the ball? Because most of their pass patterns are going to be dictated off of splits, right? When they're close, they run these patterns. When they're wide, they run these patterns. When number 2's on the ball, we're getting this. When number 4's on the ball, we're getting this, right? And then we look at a lot we call a tight end report, is the Y location, right? So again, he's in the C area. What's his depth? What's his width? Is he on the same side as the back, or is he opposite of the back? And then we're going to look at the back, right? What's the level of the back? We call it level 1, level 2, level 3. Is he in front, even, or behind? All the run game will be dictated off of that. But our guys know in the scan, right? They're seeing the formation. what's the personnel, what's the split variation, where's the tight end in the back, same side, opposite side, what's the depth, right? And then what's the down and distance, right? So in that scan, right, that should tell them, right, from the scouting report standpoint, what to anticipate. Run pass percentage and then run pass concept based on the formation in the back set, right? So I think that is huge, and we always scan right to left, right? So then their eye progression is always the same. So everything pre-snap, boom, whatever sideline you get the damn signal on, boom, gone. Right to left, right from it, and we're good. So first progression in the eye progression is a scan. Then we talk about is zoom eyes, right? So for us, right, it's like looking through a scope. If you ever shot a gun, right, it's like looking through a scope. So as our zoom eyes, we see our primary key, right? So for us, say we're in a 4 and a 3D principle, right? Our 10 backer, our A-gap backer, we call it an inbox triangle read, right? So he's going to read the back, the center, and the guard, right? So we talk about see a little, see a lot, right? See a lot, see a little, right? So we want to bright light the back, but we're going to dim light the guard in the center, right? So we talk about eyes, we talk about high eyes, and we talk about low eyes. But he's right there, right, looking through his scope. And all he's worried about is the back, bright light, dim light, center guard, right? So again, high eyes and low eyes. He's worried about them 3 cats. Those guys are going to tell him run, pass, and direction of the run. So we call it high, low, and flow, right? High hat pass, low hat run, and then the flow of the back, right? So then we'll have an inbox triangle read. If we're an apex defender, we'll have an emo triangle read, end man on the line triangle read, right? But I think it's imperative at every position, whether you're playing an off corner and you're reading 3-step, right? Whether you're an apex defender and you're a force defender reading emo triangle, whether you're in man technique and you're reading leverage hip, but what is their primary key, all right, based on the front and the covers that you call, right? So it's with our zoom eyes that we see our primary key, right? And then we snap our eyes to our secondary key, right? So it's going to be that same scope going from my primary key to my secondary key based on what my primary key did, right? So say we're in the same call, 4 and a 3 deep, right? We're that 10 A-gap backer, it's 2x2. Boom, I get high hat, right? Back stalls. Who's my secondary key? Coach. Release a number 2, right? So boom, rip punch burst, boom, I snap to who? I snap to 2. Why do they snap to 2, coach? All right, boom, for the release. We key the release early, right, and the quarterback late. If he's under, I zone up, right? If he's vertical out, I continue my track, eyes back, right? But they know right now, this coverage, right, primary key, secondary key, right, exactly what it's for, and that secondary key will always clarify and validate what that primary key showed them. All right, so that changes by position, obviously, based on the front, right, and the coverage that you call, right? But our guys know, right, from an eye progression standpoint, right, when they come to it, scan, zoom, snap, right? And then we'll tie in the foot progressions with them based on the position that they play, right? So it'll be my zoom eyes. If I'm a corner, right, then I'm working my inch technique. I'm working my scooch technique. All right, coach, there's no 3-step, so then now I snap to what? I snap to leverage hip. Now what's my footwork? Coach, I get to a smooth pedal, right? But I think the more you can progression teach, right, and get those guys to train their eyes and tell them exactly what they're looking at and why, right, the better they're going to be. So obviously I know it was a lot of information. Didn't get into technique stuff and scheme stuff. My big piece on that as a coach, I always wanted to be able to, regardless of whether I was 4-2, 3-4, 3-3, didn't matter. You know, how can I maximize my package, right, with minimal calls and window dress things to make the same things look different, same things look different and different things look the same. So hope you guys got something out of it. God bless you guys, and I look forward to Wednesday doing that Q&A on Zoom.
All right, coaches, talk it, chalk it, walk it. How about that? Great stuff there. And if you knew this coach as I know this coach, you would know that he is not only good with the X's and O's, but you can kind of feel the fact that he knows his Jims and his Joes. And that's so important as we're coaching the young men and young women that we're coaching. So with that being said, follow us, Instagram, Facebook, 5qcoaching.com. Mario, was there anything you wanted to conclude with tonight before we said hey and goodbye?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, I think Coach Golding just changed defensive football in Europe, everybody will be stabbing and disguising in 2021. Yeah. So we will see how that goes. Okay. Hey, to all the coaches that are in the call, and I hope and I think and I truly believe you just got realized what and how coaching in a meeting room is different than a regular coach's clinic. Okay. And this is exactly what we want with 5Q coaching. It's no PowerPoints in terms of, hey, this is what we do. Maybe we do this, blah, 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 show 2 drills and that's it. No, this is how we coach. And this is what we want to improve in Europe. The message is clear. The wording is clear. It comes all together. One thing is you today just got hit by taking the blue pill, like in the movie Matrix, okay? Everything you learn here, take it, but also be aware that in Europe, normally we have less time, okay? We have less experienced coaches, we have less resources, we have younger players, maybe not that experienced. Take everything, but be smart what you use, okay? That's it from my side.
Yeah. Let me say this. Thanks for making 5Q coaching a part of your own growth progression. We love you all. We're here to serve you and to sharpen ourselves and make us all better as we grow together.